Ever have one of those nights? You go out, have a blast with your friends, but then you feel like you need a full 2 day silent retreat just to feel normal again? If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. And today, we're going to dive into the fascinating science behind why that happens. Yeah, that feeling, it's often called a social hangover. And no, it's not from the drinks. It's from the people. It's that feeling of being completely and totally drained after a social event, even if you genuinely had a good time. Picture this. You were at a party, laughing, connecting, really in the moment. But the second you walk through your front door, it's like a switch flips. All the noise, the chatter, the constant back and forth, it all just hits you at once. And all you crave is pure, absolute silence. Sound about right? Well, if this is all resonating with you, there's a good chance you fit into a really interesting category of people. We're going to call them deep thinkers. So let's unpack what that actually means. So, what is a deep thinker? It's not about being smarter or anything like that. It's all about how your brain processes the world around you. Think of it like this. Some brains take quick snapshots of life, but a deep thinker's brain is more like a high-definition video camera, just constantly rolling, capturing every last detail with incredible depth. Let's look at a few common traits. See if any of these ring a bell. Deep thinkers process things, well, deeply. They're super observant, picking up on tiny shifts in tone or body language that just fly by most people. They usually reflect before they act or speak, and because they're taking so much in, they can get overstimulated pretty easily. All of this leads to a really rich, complex inner world. If you're sitting there nodding along right now, I want you to hear this. You are so far from being alone. And this isn't some personality quirk you need to fix. It's actually way more fundamental than that. There's a biological reason for it. And this is where it gets really cool. So let's get into this different brain wiring. And this is the main takeaway, really. It's not you, it's your biology. Just understanding this one thing can be a total game changer. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? This isn't a personality flaw. It's a fundamental difference in your neurological design. Let that sink in for a minute. You're not broken, you're not antisocial, your brain is simply wired differently. And that changes the whole story. So how does this actually work in the brain? Well, imagine there are two main highways for processing the world. The social butterflies, they tend to use the expressway. That's the dopamine pathway. It's fast, direct, and it gets a huge kick from external rewards, which is why social stuff actually energizes them. But deep thinkers, we're on the scenic route, the acetylcholine pathway. It's a longer, more winding path that rewards quiet reflection, which leads to those feelings of calm and contentment when we're alone with our thoughts. And here's the beautiful trade-off. Taking that scenic route is a superpower. It really is. It lets you see the world with this incredible richness and depth. But just like any superpower, it uses a ton of energy. And that's exactly why social situations can feel so draining. Your brain is working overtime, processing a massive flood of information. Which leads us right into the biology of overload. It's time to finally solve the mystery of why that social battery seems to hit zero so much faster for some of us. And just in case you're feeling like you're some rare exception, check this out. Around 20% of the population has this trait of high sensory processing sensitivity. That's 1 in every 5 people. You are part of a pretty big and vibrant club. Okay, so how does a really pleasant evening turn into that social hangover? It's a pretty predictable 4-step process. First, your brain just naturally soaks up way more sensory detail. Second, it doesn't just see it, it processes all of it deeply. Third, all that intense mental heavy lifting leads to genuine neurological fatigue. And fourth, you get that all too familiar feeling of being mentally and emotionally wiped out. It's a natural biological chain reaction. So, understanding the science is a huge first step. But now, let's talk about how to use that knowledge to actually thrive. Because this isn't about trying to become someone else, it's about empowering the way you're already built. The key here is to start thinking of this as a strategy, not an excuse. You can totally manage your energy. Maybe that means literally scheduling alone time in your calendar, just like any other important appointment. Or maybe it's about choosing a deep one-on-one coffee date over a loud, crowded happy hour. It's all about consciously creating those pockets of calm in your life. And that's really the heart of it all. This isn't about fighting your own nature or trying to become more extroverted. It's about learning to work with your brain, not against it. It's about honoring your need for quiet and building a life where you can really shine. I want to end with this really powerful idea. Your need for quiet isn't a weakness. It's the crucible for your thoughtfulness and creativity. That time you spend alone isn't you hiding from the world. It's where you forge your greatest strengths, your insights, your breakthroughs, your art. It's the source of your power. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Now that you know the beautiful, complex why behind the way your brain is wired, how does that change the way you see yourself? Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope this was as illuminating for you as it was for me.